So now we're going to show you some crevicing. We're going to start with some small crevicing. Crevicing breaks down into about 3 basic categories. Small crevicing, large crevicing, and dry crevicing. Each is worked with a different set of tools and is done a little differently. Small crevicing is what we're going to do first. For any of the wet crevicing, you're going to need to have a viewer. Now, this basically is the same thing that swimming goggles does by allowing you to see underwater. But it does it better because you don't have to be underwater. And most of the time when you're working in gold-bearing areas, the water's cold. So this allows me to just take it, point under the water, and I can see just as good as if I was a fish down there. Now, the beauty of this is you can actually see gold sitting on the bottom of the creek a lot of times. Not on top of the dirt, because gold doesn't sit on top of the dirt usually. But once you move the dirt away and you get down to the bedrock, you can usually see little flakes of gold sitting on the bedrock as you go around. And that's very important for small crevicing, because if you're doing this right, you will see pieces of gold down there. Sometimes even nuggets, I've found. So, I'll teach you how to build one of these in a separate video sometime. Right now, you can buy them at some gold places. Most of them are pretty cheesy. This is a much better quality one, but it doesn't really matter. Right now, you need to be able to see down there. So, I'm looking down here, and I can see that bedrock is right here, and bedrock is over here. And bedrock comes back here, and then kind of ends in a small crevice. So this, about a foot or wider, I consider to be a large crevice. When it gets narrower than that, I call it a small crevice. So over here, there's a pretty good sized crevice between here and here that could have trapped some gold, because gold comes down here, rolls right over it, and it walks just like a sluice, because these little lines of bedrock are just like the riffles in a sluice. They roll the water and gold settles out. Now, I might have worked this spot before. I can't quite remember if I've done this here, but we're going to work it out anyway and show you how it works. So, to crevice, you need a certain number of tools. This I call a sucker-upper. It's not a very technical name. Some people call them gold vacuums or whatever, but the point is, this has a cylinder inside, a little rubber gadget, that holds the air, and so when you pull on it, it creates a vacuum down here. So you pull, and it pulls the dirt up out of the crevice into this tube, and you take the top off and drain it off into your bucket, and then you run that out later. Now, this seems like a lot of effort, but you have to remember that what we're dealing with here is dozens of times more concentrated than typical river dirt is. So when you work down here, a half a bucket full of dirt might have the same amount of gold in it that 10 5-gallon buckets will have if you just go out there and dig someplace in the middle. So it's important to get it really clean and get it really well done, because even a tiny little dirt can have a lot of gold in it. Another tool that you're really going to need if you're going to be working in crevices is a handy set of pry bars. This has some small and a medium and a large. I don't have the small and the large here. They come from Harbor Freight Tools. They're about $8 or $10, and they're really worth the investment, because they not only have a lifetime guarantee, but they'll help you find gold you couldn't get otherwise. Because a lot of times when you clean up these crevices, you'll get them clean, but there'll be a piece of bedrock stuck to the side of another piece of bedrock, and in between there'll be a little bit of a crack. You'll see some rocks down in there, but you can't get them out because they're all stuck. So you take your handy pry bar, pop it off, and underneath that rock you might just see a pile of gold, like I saw in this picture right here. This is a picture of gold in its natural habitat. So, these will come in handy. The small one will get in small places, the big one and we'll move some larger rocks. I'm going to start by grabbing a handful of rocks, the biggest ones, and just throwing them out of the way. Now, I'm working in a pretty good current here, and so I don't want to stir it up so much that the gold will wash away. So I'm just going to start by taking the big rocks off the top, and then stop at that. Now, I've got it down so that it looks like this. That's ready to start using my other tools. Now, if you just get down here with a shovel or whatever, you're going to lose basically everything you've got in there. Your gold is going to wash downstream. So you need to be very careful not to do that. I usually take a bucket, put it underwater, a little bit downstream, and brace it with my foot, like that. And then I take my scoop and push it down in there and scrape dirt up onto it, and then I bring it out holding it like this. And then you continue scooping right down in that crevice, protecting your dirt from washing away. You're going to get as close to the bottom as you can without risking losing anything, because you're stirring up the dirt. Because you can't go sweeping it around like you would in a bigger crevice, because it'll just get washed away. So I'm going to get all the dirt I can until I get down to the bottom. Crevice a little bit deeper than it looked on the surface. Never can quite tell. And the object here is to get all the stuff that's larger than about 3/4 of an inch around out of here so that you can use your sucker upper to clean it up better. Alright, and that's got that. So I've got about a half a bucket of dirt, which I will run through my sluice and see what's in there. We'll do that in a minute. First we're going to classify it, of course. Now we're going to take the sucker upper. Now the object of this is to push it right down into the crack and pull. I'm going to try to put my camera down there so you can see how it's working as I do it. This is a little bit easier with two hands. Okay. Now you just pull like that, and then you gently push it out without trying to blow the dirt away. And you pull again. Now because of the way this is designed, when you push back out, the dirt doesn't all flow out again because there's a small chamber in here. This pipe goes in about this far, and so the dirt comes in here and stops and it falls underneath there and gets caught. Now I'm going to walk this spot out up here. Be careful on the outgo there so you don't do that. Okay, we're going to do that until it's all sucked up. There's a better way of doing that. This sucker upper, you can run it like this all day long, and it will work, and it'll do the job. You may wind up hating it after a while because it's kind of hard work, and it does do some frustrating things, like occasionally this top will just pop off like that if you pull too hard. And so I got kind of tired of it. But before I get into that, let me show you how to get the dirt out of here. Pop the top off, put your hand over the bottom end, fill it up with water, shake it so the dirt all falls down over your hand, bring it up here, and just drop it in. Do it again. And that's that. And I only got about a cup of dirt out of there, but odds are that cup had more gold in it than the other stuff, the whole half bucket I filled a minute ago. That's how important this sucker upper is. So, now you can see what I got left of there is not all that much. You saw that on the video a minute ago. So now, I would sweep it into a smaller pile and try sucking it up again and again. But first I'm going to look at it with the viewer and see if I can see any actual spots of gold. I don't see any there, but it's sometimes hard to tell. Okay, so I'm going to scoop it up again. I see some spots I missed. So as I said, I don't like that sucker upper very much. It is fairly cheap to build. It's about $50 if you go to buy one. And I will have a video showing you how to build one of those, because it's better than nothing. If you're working by yourself, it's about the only thing you can do. But if you've got two people who can work on it, you can use this one here. This is our prototype that we've designed, which we'll also have a video on at some point, that allows you to suck up a whole lot more dirt, and it separates the dirt in this nice container. You push down like this, it creates a vacuum. Sucks water in here through the check valve. That sucks water in here, which means your dirt's going to come in here and drop. Water's going to come out through here. And you push all the way down to the bottom, and then the excess water that you pulled in drains out here. This check valve opens, this one closes. You pull back up so it doesn't blow back out through here, and you do it again. This takes two people to do it. And so we're going to have my lovely assistant Svetlana come over here and work on it. So I'm going to try again to show you with the video camera what I'm seeing in the viewer while I suck it up. It would help if I had three hands here, but let's just see what we can do. Okay, so here you see a nice little pile of dirt. Now we're going to suck that up with the sucker rifle. Alright, go. There you go. See, it just sucks that up and it leaves a really clean spot behind. That's what we're after. Go. So now, if you just continue pumping up and down while I suck out the crevices and watch for gold that's being missed. Because sometimes gold is missed by this. Because gold is so heavy and it gets stuck in cracks sometimes that you can't get it out of them. Okay, stop. I'll pull these biggest rocks out of here. Because anything bigger than about 3/4 of an inch is going to get stuck in the sucker upper. As I said, that's a technical name. I think properly it should be called a gold back, but just never seemed to come out that way. Okay, so go. And I am seeing some gold go by now. In fact, I think I can show it to you here. Hang on. Alright, so you see right there, that's a piece of gold stuck into the clay. And we're going to pull that out with the sucker-upper. Now you see there's a couple more pieces down in there. One of them right down there at the end of my finger. A little bit blurry here. Hard to hold this camera. Another little piece over there. You see how they all congregate underneath the edge of that rock. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a pry bar in right here and try to pop up that rock and see if we can get it pulled out. Alright, now the crack is sucked out. We're going to put the pry bar underneath there and try to break it open. I'm going to need the bigger one. The thinking is, if there's that much gold near the edge, how much might there be under it? And there's indeed more. There it goes. Rock's coming up. Now you want to try to get this rock out of here without losing any gold that might be stuck on it. Nothing on there. I'll wait for it to clear for a second. Let's see what we unearthed. Okay, so the beauty of what we just did is that there was a crack under there that had been catching gold for who knows how many years, and I'm the first person to ever get under this rock and see what's down there. Now I'm seeing a fair amount of gold flakes. Nice large ones too. They just got stuck there one day and they never got out. And no one else was able to get under them because they just didn't stop and take a bar to it and pop that rock off. So there's a nice little layer of clay down there, and I can see quite a bit of flakes of gold stuck in it. But it's washing around, it's getting washed back into a pile in the bottom. And so I'm trying to pull the biggest rocks off the top, and then I'm going to use my scoop again to pull some of the rest of them out. And then I'll show you what's left on the bottom. So that's about all I can get with my scoop. I'm going to look down there again. It's pretty murky, so I can't really see much, so I have to wait for it to clear out a little bit. Just make sure you look at all the walls and get all the little specks of gold off all the walls and in all the little cracks. Get this thing obsessively clean. When you're done, you want there to be nothing left in this hole. And there's clay on the walls. You need to rub your hose around on there and dissolve it so that if there's any gold stuck in it, it'll get dissolved and sucked up into the sucker-upper, and then you're going to run it through the sluice, and then you'll know exactly what you caught. That's what I'm doing right now. Alright, and now that crevice is pretty well clean. So that's basically the process of cleaning out a small crevice. Oop, that's the pot of gold I missed. Go. Alright. Now, when you come back here the next time, no matter how well you clean it, and I don't quite understand how this works, but no matter how well you clean it, you're going to come back here, put your viewer down in the water, and you'll find some more gold flakes that you missed before. I don't know if they just get cleaned off, this little rock sitting on top and you don't see it. But every time I come back to the river, the very first thing I do is take my viewer and go to the place I worked last. Look down in there, take my snifter bottle, and use it to selectively suck up exactly the spot I want. See, there's a spot right there. These little spots of gold just have a habit of hiding down there where you can't see them. And then later you come back and they're just right there smiling back at you. And so you might as well just pick them up. So that's how you work a small crevice. A big crevice is similar in principle, but it has a lot more dirt to move. So we'll do that next.